Oh, how sweet it is. How sweet it is. Knicks universe. What it do? Salute. I missed you all. So, Phil. Come on. I don't even got to say anything. That's it. Intro's over.
Bro, I didn't even know how to act. I heard the intro music go off. I was like, oh my God, I'm excited. And Phil, I know he is ready to just prophesy and talk about his lovely Villanova Knicks. What up,
Oh, man, I love it. This is like seriously the news that truly like made my night. You know, we were talking to the crew of the Liberty Latte about the disappointing loss for the Liberty tonight. And then all of a sudden, as we're talking about that, boom, like everything changed. The night started to feel amazing with the news of Mikal Bridges. And it started with, in principle. And now I'm reading, it's happening. Like it is happening. We are getting Mikal Bridges and I'm freaking stoked. Obviously there's, things we're going to talk about speculations of what this could mean with the rest of the roster. But I'm excited.
Yeah, and heck, I'll pull up some of Begley's tweets because I mean he even just put something out about iHeart. Now we got questions around iHeart. We got all kinds of stuff. I'll be honest, bro. Like you were playing video games. I was ready on melatonin, ready for bed, and then bam, bro. I'm excited. Look at the chat, bro. Do a roll call. We haven't done one in forever.
It's crazy. Where I'm at, we had this like giant freaking storm out of nowhere. And it's actually being considered a possible tornado that hit. So about 2.5 hours ago, we had no power, wind gushing everywhere. We had to go across to Krista's grandparents' house. So all this is just like got me on cloud 9. So let's do a roll call.
Let's do a roll call. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to one of the best chat that's out there in the entire YouTube space. My guy on Dios NYK is in the building. Daniel Barry Sports Highlight. How you doing? Our friend Bonesy is in the building. NFE in the Strike Zone is in the building. My guy NY Original is in the building. Salute. 3 capital S's. Go Yanks is in the building. Shaquan is in the building. Salute to you. Luna Jean is in the building. BX Kicks for Life. Shout out to the chat. We got Hansel Gaming. Self-Afflicted is in the building. Kung Fu D, my guy, how you doing? Pots and Pans is in the building. Knick fans, smack the like button. Hit that subscribe button. Interact with the emojis so we could get more Knick fans in the convo. What happened? We got somebody out. We got somebody down there.
Listen, we're going to drop the link probably. We'll let people come up in a bit. We sent the bat signal out to people. We got our boy. Where are you, Theo? You back there, bro? Hold on. Theo Alcich.
I'll talk to the people.
I was just in Eddie's
yeah, he texted me.
Yeah, I was in it and I felt unprepared because I'm reading different things, but now I'm seeing that OG Anunoby's still on the Knicks priority. They can sign him, which means most likely they're gonna try to move Julius Randle. No?
Bro, I mean, if you look at what
you don't have
Begley just put out. Sorry, Hector. Go ahead, bro. I was talking over you.
I was gonna say you don't have to, because that's the thing that when it comes to Mikal and OG, their versatility. You can have Mikal playing the 2 guard, OG playing the 3 with Julius Randle. That right there is solid defense. And then obviously whatever happens with Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson, if you have OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges as your 2 and 3 to help out Jalen Brunson, to help out Julius Randle on the defensive side of things, bro. Talk to me nice or don't talk to me at all.
I just had my wet dream. I just had my wet dream again. This is insane.
Listen, here's what Ian just put out a second ago, guys. He says New York Knicks free agent center Isaiah Hartenstein is expected to be a top target for several opposing teams in free agency. With offers that Hartenstein is expected to command on the open market, it's become increasingly unlikely that New York Knicks will be able to retain iHeart. So that kind of goes with what you were just asking about, Al.
Yeah. We would Eddie mentioned that in his Twitter space, and because I thought OG was out of the picture, but Ian also posted that OG is a top priority. Doesn't mean that they're out of him with him as well, and that means Mitchell Robinson's going to be the starting center. I'm just trying to. I mean, look at this team. Look, DiVincenzo goes to the bench. Hart goes to the bench. You got Brunson, Bridges, OG, Randall, and Robinson. Yo, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum sucking these nuts, baby. Your dynasty, it's not happening, baby.
Yo, this man sounds like he came off a Mets win.
Oh, yeah, that's right about that one, too. What's up, Yankees?
Full disclosure, I was drinking, people.
Real quick, I want to thank everybody that's in the chat because, like, Al was saying, there are Twitter spaces going on. There are, millions of people who are just like content creators that are like, oh, snap, Mikal Bridges. So we know that there are options out there. So we appreciate y'all rocking with us. I do want to say before we move on that I am still the prophet, okay? Because where'd my little video go? Where'd it go? It was there. Now I don't.
Hold on. I know you need your moment. Let me find it. I got it.
July 10th. All right. July 10th, I made this video, and I will probably play it about 6 times on this episode for all the people that show up.
Last year.
Yeah, because it's only June right now. So, yeah, you have been. You're
breaking news. Breaking news.
Melatonin is kicking in, people.
So, here we go. This was my video from July 10th when I was predicting that we were not done with the Villanova boys signings. Here we go.
It may get bigger, it may get a little bigger, it may not get bigger at all. We'll see what happens. But regardless of what happens, we're totally prepared.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
So I knew that it was going to probably continue to get bigger, make it a little bigger. But I knew it was going to happen.
Were you wearing a diaper when you did that video as well? Were you wearing a diaper?
Yeah. Time out. Pause. Hold on. Our boy Rock with the $20 super chat. Rock, I miss you, bro. He said, my guy's making all the
We got to throw the
news.
link.
Let's
I need
go.
Rock up here.
This is the way. Yes. You know what? Rock. Everybody in the chat, thank Rock. Okay? Because Rock is the reason I'm dropping the link right now for whoever wants to join. You want to scream? You want to yell? You want to be happy? There's the link.
One thing I want to share. Shout out to the folks that's in the chat, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter. If you're rocking with us, click the link in the bio, come on over to YouTube and join us for the conversation. I wish we had the copyright for that Kendrick song, They Not Like Us, because now that's, as a Knicks fan, this is a dream come true. We were talking about this during the season. We were talking about this at the trade deadline. And all you naysayers out there, Leon Rose, he is just nepotism. Leon Rose is not the guy for the job. We don't hear Leon Rose talk to the media. Well, guess what? Uncle Leon Rose, he sat back. He saw the Boston Celtics win a championship, and he was like, how can we beat that team? By bringing Mikal Bridges over, and now you got to start and line up, hopefully, with OG, Mikal, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Talk to me nice.
Oh, no.
And it's crazy because
we should have put a disclaimer, Al, before we all started talking about this. Like I feel like it's Knicks porn after hours.
Hey, Knicks porn, get the lube, baby, get the lube, baby.
Get off the rail, people. We got a boy. Go ahead, Al.
The crazy thing is that Evan, we all text Evan at the same time. He hasn't said anything. He hasn't said anything. I posted that video. I got it off I screen recorded the video of Brunson and Bridges at the party, the glow sticks. It's in my. If you want to find that video and throw it up real quick, because I can't believe this is really. I mean, I honestly didn't think this was gonna happen, but the fact that Bridges pulled the KD on the Nets, the man they traded KD for, is now coming to the Knicks. Let's go.
And shout out my guy Keith, because he was on with us towards the end of the season, and he said, as a Net fan, he was like, how long can the Brooklyn Nets have Squidward look at Patrick and SpongeBob and them just having fun? And that's what it was with Mikal Bridges. Your best player that you're trying to build a championship or build your team around doesn't want to be on your team. He wants to be across the bridge with his best friends from college on the New York Knicks. And now you got Jalen, Josh, Dante, and you got Mikal Bridges. Oh man, we made up for drafting Kevin Knox. We got the guy we should have drafted originally. We got Mikal Bridges. Thank you, Kevin Knox. This is a full circle moment right now.
Let's bring up Rock. I see he's backstage. Rock, give me a thumbs up, bro. Oh yeah, it's like the season is back. Rock, my God. Muted.
You're
No,
muted, Rock.
Muted.
Rock,
You're muted, Rock.
My bad. Let me refresh
No,
that.
you're good.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go. You know the Avatar. You guys all remember we've been wanting this. He's here. Eddie Presti's going crazy about 6 picks that mean nothing, right? All right, we are here. Listen, my daughter graduated today, and when I told her about this trade,
Congratulations.
she said, "Dad, the power of friendship. The power of friendship.
Yes.
This is the way." Shout out to the Morning Brew crew. I had a few drinks tonight, but guess what? This is the night.
That's
We ready. We go over it. And guys, a little bit of analysis tonight. You know, they made the trade before the draft. And what does that tell you about our team? We don't care about PG-13. We don't care about LeBron. We making moves for us, for the future, to win a chip. And anyone that says about Miguel, his contract, Mikel's contract 2 years from now, no. This one chip in NYC is going to be worth more than anything else. So shout out to Hector. Shout out to Jigga. Shout out to Phil. Shout out to everybody, man. And shout out to Eddie Presti, because I'm going to see him. What are we doing? You guys got to do a show next week, because I'm going to tell him, you need to stop with these 6 picks that mean nothing, right? We got our picks this year. We still have the guys intact right now. I'm hearing a little rumors about iHeart. A little worried about that. But how are we going to beat Boston? I'm wearing green today, because this is how we're going to beat Boston. With Mikal Bridges. Phil, what up? Jigga, what up? Heck, what up,
Rock,
man? How
I
you
love
feeling?
it, bro.
Bro,
Rock.
I'm looking at your setup, and I'm like, yo,
Oh.
I wish I was with Rock right now.
I was just about to say, like, what do you got back there that's on the show?
Oh man,
Brian?
I got a
Give
little
us
bit of
tour.
everything, man. I got a little bit of everything, man.
Is that some Blanton?
Yeah.
Did I see some Blanton?
Hey.
It's a Knicks man cave. This is the Knicks. This is the Knicks cave, man. So it's crazy, man. Like we just it's a lot of stuff going on here. We celebrating. Listen, guys.
All I see right now, Rock, is you literally just said, "Hey, we're doing a Knicks Morning Brew live next season."
Listen, we
from
have
Rock's
to.
man cave, bro.
I got to work on the backdrops, man. I
Let's
got to
go.
come up with new backdrops. Listen, I missed you guys. It's been a few weeks. You know, it's funny. Like,
Same.
I see all the Twitter stuff, and I never partake in it because I'm like, guys, it's all hypotheticals. We're talking about stuff we have no control over. It's okay to suggest, but listen, the Avatar has always been the Avatar. It's always been Mikal Bridges, the perfect piece. Okay, we got him now. I'm happy we got him. Look, I'm still trying to figure out like everything that we truly gave up for it. But from what I understand so far, and the implications of the team, and listen, we got to re-sign OG. We got to make sure we got to try to keep iHeart, right? And listen, now Mitchie, he's there, right? And look, I don't think the second apron matters anymore, because now with this trade, to me, it translates to me that, yo, listen, this is it. We're going for it, right? We don't need the mid-level exception, right? So we're going for it, right? I mean, Phil, I know you a savant, man. What do you think about that, man?
Yeah, so here's my thing is, for me, iHeart was one of the things that I wanted to secure most.
Right.
However, now this is a concern. Solely for the fact, not that we signed Mikal Bridges, because his salary is not enough to make that a concern. It's the amount of buzz that we are hearing around the league of teams that want him. He was willing to take a cut to stay with the Clippers, when he was there. I don't know if he's going to want to do that again after he has solidified himself as this great player where he's at. So I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to see him make that kind of sacrifice to be a Knick, as much as I would like that. But with this signing, it at least calms me, because if Mikal doesn't, if iHeart doesn't sign, being that we got a guy who is now a, both side of the court player, like OG is, this makes up for any inadequacies on defense, but also on offense. So with iHeart in there, it was important because the offense ran differently than it did with Mitch. And that really helped because we had an additional scorer, additional person that could cut or find, transition buckets for other players. But Mikal can do that. Mikal has those skill sets as well. And so the good thing about Mikal is he could start in that 2 position, but if anything was to happen to OG, he just slides into that 3 and Ragu comes back up into that 2. So it makes things very flexible, which we didn't have last year. We have a player that can fit that 2nd and 3rd position very, very well if anything was to happen with OG. And now he could be the guy, since he's the one who has not had injuries, he could be the guy that does what OG was doing last year and Randall did the year before, getting those minutes with the 2nd unit so that the guys who are recovering from injury don't have to play those extra minutes out of necessity because we have a guy who is healthy that can play those minutes. So I'm ecstatic for it. I think the only concern is if iHeart walks away, we need someone off the bench that can play the 5. And now if we're trading these draft picks, all the talk that was being said about us trying to grab like an Edie or someone like that in the draft, that's no longer possible if both of this year's picks are part of that deal. We don't know which picks it was yet, but if it's both of them, then we can't even draft a backup.
Let me check which picks it is. Go ahead, Hector.
I want to share something real quick from our favorite, and it's a little bit of an echo. Hold on, let me just. I'm going to share something real quick. What happened, Rock? My fault.
No, I think that echoes on me. I got my family watching me on the live stream upstairs. I came in the basement.
You're good. So I want to share something real quick from everybody's favorite Knicks fan, and that's Stephen A. Smith. And we got to get his reaction to the Mikal Bridges deal.
Now, I know that y'all are sitting out there and y'all saying it's Mikal Bridges. He's a good player, but it ain't like you got KD or somebody. Bump all that, okay? Chemistry matters. Reliability matters. Consistency matters. Defense matters. The brother can shoot. The brother can play. I'm sorry. I like this move by the New York Knicks. He's young. He's energetic. He's seasoned. He defends. And he fits right into the culture of the New York. That's all I ask. That's all I ask, baby. You crawl before you walk. We crawled last year. We gonna walk, and we close to sprinting. I still think we need another pace, but we have moved in the right direction. I like this. I like this. I like that. Go New York. Go New York. Go. Whoa!
And now we got Eddie Presti in the building. Eddie Presti, how you doing?
Yo, I'm surprised he didn't talk about how it was a great move that we traded Grimes for Mikal Bridges. Like, that fool, get him out of here. No.
Guys, let's go ahead and let Rock get back to his family. Rock,
sorry I couldn't get you up in the space, bro. I'm sorry. There's a million people there.
On Twitter, but listen, yo, guys, nothing gets me more excited when I see the tweets come through and I see my live stream notification come through than the morning brew with the 4 horsemen. Everybody put a 4 in the chat for these 4 guys. They deserve it. Give them your support. There's a million ways to support. And guess what? Championship time, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. This is the way.
This is the way, Rock.
I love
Yo,
Rock.
Eddie, I'm so glad to see you, my guy.
I am fucking fuming.
Why, Eddie?
Are you kidding me? Why? We gave up fucking 4 unprotecteds, the Milwaukee pick, a fucking swap, and 2 second-rounders for Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, baby, we had to make that move. What you wanted, DeMar DeRozan?
Yeah.
I
for a lot
understand
less.
I understand you would take DeMar, and so would I. But this is my thing. We have to
This
look
doesn't
at
put them over the top, Phil.
look at our organization. What were we going to do? Draft another Obi Toppin? Another Frank Ntilikina? Another RJ Barrett that then we move? Like, what were we actually going to draft? Nothing. And the people that are in, especially this like round of players, we can get I don't remember who I was listening to, but they had a great point. We could go after a player that is, good, that isn't getting any shine on their team, that is probably better than these guys that are coming in this draft that need to prove themselves. So I am not worried because I don't see the Knicks as an organization that really buys into the draft. They haven't. In how long? When was the last time we actually bought into the draft? Like, diehard bought into it.
Go ahead, Hack.
I was gonna say, one, I don't know where the echo is coming from. That's one. Second, right? It's the echo is bothering.
So, is it me?
It's the tism. It's the tism. It's bothering me. I didn't know this year's draft was like such a historic draft that everyone's losing their mind that we traded this year's pick. Like, I thought this draft this year's
pick.
That's what Phil just said, that we traded this year's pick.
It hasn't. No, it hasn't released. It hasn't released the picks.
No, they
no. It's a 2025 next year's pick for the Knicks. 2027 unprotected, 29 unprotected, 31 unprotected, plus the Milwaukee pick from next year, which might be a good pick, and a swap in 2028. So if they have we have a worse record than them, they get the swap and 2 second rounders on top of that. That is a fucking deal for Luka Doncic. That is not a deal for Mikal Bridges.
Bro, we didn't give. We gave
the All-Star team.
We gave up Bojan. We gave up Bojan and picks, bro. We didn't give up.
Oh, we gave up all our picks. We can't make any other fucking moves. This is it.
We give up all of our picks. The Knicks had 11 first round
picks. We can't trade any other pick.
Eddie, I see where you're coming from with the picks, right? But
no,
you've talked about the picks. Right. You've talked about the picks time and time again. And I get it, but let's be real. Mikal still had 2 years left on there, right?
Yes.
Like, we knew we would have to give them a whole shit ton. They didn't have to trade him, right? So we're gonna overpay like crazy for it. But the highlight is, if you know that that's the missing piece to finish the Infinity Stones and make the Thanos arm, it doesn't matter to me. And to me, it's Bojan and a bunch of what if possible players that could become something.
But
I think this is
I don't look at the picks as what if players. I don't give two fucks about who we draft
for your trade.
The picks are the currency. That's what gets you the stars. The unprotected picks gets you superstars. It always does. Always.
But here's the thing. I know a team that has a Jalen Brunson, and I think that's a superstar to me. And I see a team, if they bring back OG and we have a Julius Randle healthy, and we just brought the piece to elevate our superstar. And Phil, it's your mic.
My mic?
You're the one echoing. Yep.
I'm echoing?
It's picking up all our sound. So,
yeah. I just want to say, who's the star that you're trading for then, Eddie?
I would have got DeMar DeRozan. He's a fucking number 2. He's a better offensive player than Bridges. Better.
You gonna tell me you're gonna give up this package?
Number 2 option. Mikal Bridges is not a true number 2.
What is Mikal Bridges making salary wise?
$22 million for the next 2 years.
What did DeMar DeRozan want salary wise?
$30 million.
$30 million. You're paying DeMar DeRozan, who was in his late 30s, $30 million.
Yes.
You're smoking something, bro.
No. DeMar DeRozan led the league in fucking minutes. All right, he led the league. He was second in clutch points in all of the fucking NBA.
Yeah,
right. He pushes Randle to the 3, and now we have.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing real quick?
I
am so happy to be doing this with you assholes right now. It's a Knicks content. We got over 450 people in the building. I missed this entire chat. I missed Eddie yelling in my ear. Hector about to slap him through the freaking internet. Go ahead.
I definitely am.
No, here's the thing. I like DeMar DeRozan as well, but getting Mikal Bridges is getting Mikal Bridges for as long as Jalen Brunson stays a Knick. As long as Jalen Brunson stays a Knick, he is going to be there. This is the freaking Thanos, like, Infinity Stones that they've been trying to gather, and now they are there. And here's the thing. Our big trade didn't need to come this summer because we made the best trade in the middle of the season last year out of any team, getting OG Anunoby. So if you look at our roster now, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG, Randall, and let's say Mitch or Hart, or Hartenstein, either way, what top 5 starting lineup in the NBA is that good? I'll wait, because there's not. Like, not even this Celtics team from this year that everyone was talking about because they had the best season out of any team. There is no starting 5 that is that good. Any other player that we would have went for using these picks, Randall would have had to been out the door, or OG would have had to be out the door. It would not be
DeRozan.
But he's not that star that you're talking
Yes,
about.
he is.
He is a great player. He is a great player. But he is not going to be the longevity of these New York Knicks.
Bill,
like, he's not a thing future.
He led the NBA in minutes. He led the
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He did not. Eddie, he did not lead the league in minutes. He was 30th in the NBA in minutes per game. He did not lead the league. He was 30th.
Luka Doncic overall minutes played.
No.
Yes, he did.
Bro,
look it up.
Bro, I'm looking at it right now. Minutes per game. DeMar DeRozan is 30th. Luka Doncic is number. Yes, per game. Minutes per game. Luka Doncic is 37.5 minutes per game. DeMar DeRozan is literally 30th. He is 37.8. He is behind Luka. Hold on.
37.8 was the lead.
No, 36.5.
I don't know. I got 37.8.
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter. There is a 7-year age difference. So, yes, DeMar is the right now. Mikal could be the right now and the tomorrow of the New York Knicks, which
never made an all-star team.
Who cares?
Bill, you're with me on the Randall thing. I know you're with me on the Randall. You do not, in your heart of hearts, believe he's a number 2. Me and you are lock, step, and barrel with that.
I agree. I believe OG's our number 2. To me, OG's our number 2. Randall is our number 3, and Mikal will be our number 4. Like, that is crazy when you could say Mikal is your number 4. When you can say that in a starting lineup, this is someone before this trade, the Nets wanted to build around him as their number 2. So now he's coming to be our number 4. On most teams, he could be a number 2 option. So the fact that Leon Rose and them have gotten him as our number 4, to me, I'm not bitching about that. Like, and I don't like that word. It just came out. So here's the thing. For me, I understand the DeMar DeRozan, but we always talk about how the Knicks are always looking just, right now or the next 2 years, and they're never looking to the future of what this organization would be. All of us would be complaining if DeMar came, we did well for a season, and then it was a downhill slope from there. As opposed to if Mikal comes and we do well and we continue to do well for the next however many years with him, Hart, Dante, and freaking Jalen. So for me, I love the big picture. I'm glad that this organization is finally looking big picture because they've always looked in short increments, and that was the downfall of the Carmelo Anthony era.
I don't believe
who's a better defender. Who's a better defender?
Who, DeMar or DeRozan?
Yeah.
No, DeRozan had a better defensive win share this year than Mikal Bridges.
I said, who's a better defender, Mikal Bridges or DeMar DeRozan?
Well, according to defensive win share this year, DeMar DeRozan was the better defender. You give up 6 picks for fucking Luka Doncic. You give up 6 picks for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Is Luka available? Is Luka available?
None.
Is Luka available?
No, he's not. But
all right, was Giannis available?
No.
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay,
here's the
so
thing.
your pivot.
And all these idiots in the chat.
Pivot.
Oh, he's DeMar's washed. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
So your pivot is getting a guy who is 34 years old, who's turning 35.
That wasn't a pivot. That's what I would have went for first, because we could have made a bunch of moves after that. This is our last move. If we don't win with Mikal, that's it.
What's the other moves made? Look at our money. DeMar DeRozan wanted $30 million. Where are we making moves?
You still had the picks. You still would have had a bunch of picks.
Bojan and somebody else.
You could have brought in fucking DeJounte Murray with
Here's
him.
The thing. This is the thing. It's all speculation of what could have happened. This is what actually happened. And we talk about Luka. I love Luka. The way Luka played in the playoffs, the effort of Luka in the playoffs, as much as Luka's one of my favorite players, that's not a player that's going to shine in a Tom Thibodeau organization. It's just not. So let's be real. Like, Tibbs is building something. Like, you look at the chemistry, even between Tibbs and freaking Hart and Jalen on the podcast. Like, they are building something. And they're not just taking names for taking names. Like, I look at the spaces. I look at all the speculations. It was possibly Karl Anthony Towns. That would have been a bust. Randall would have been gone. Okay? I look at all these other names. Mikal Bridges is the only one that makes sense for a here and now, but a tomorrow as well. And for me, I want a tomorrow. I don't want to have 2 good years as a Knick fan and then go misery for the next 30 years like I have the last 30. So for me, I like it because there's possibilities for growth. And if iHeart doesn't come back, that's money there too that we have on the floor that we can figure something out. Why not?
For the second apron. So it's useless.
I'll tell you, the one thing you definitely want if you're running an organization, though, is you do want an Eddie on your staff, all right? Because he's going to make sure you understand the value of your picks. I think, again, the reason I don't stress it right now, Eddie, is I understand from a business standpoint where you look at it, the value of the picks, the trading, we've talked for a whole season, off season, last season, the thought of the Villanova Knicks. The fact is, I look at this also kind of like when the Yankees went and got Garrett Cole. Like, they get those white whales in their mind that they're going to get. We want that guy. Mikal's been that guy. OG was that guy. I don't even know what the next move is going to be. And based on the fact that we pulled off the Mikal thing, I can't even speculate on what's next. Like, that shows me. There has to be, bro. There still has to be, because you still have to figure out what you're doing with an iHeart leaving.
If we lose iHeart, we're going to get either Goga or probably Drummond, right? That's probably who we're going to get as a backup. Options. I don't care. Goga's not bad, but again, now we're going to go and start Mitch. What do we get? 40 games out of him if we're lucky. Again, the
injury stuff with Mitch is obviously always going to be our concern, right? I mean, again, we can highlight all we want the amazing start he had to last season, and the defensive player of the year talk so early on, then the injury happened, right? I also, though, give him credit because I did see a guy that kind of bulked up when we needed him most in the playoffs till he got injured, right? So it's, again, I'm not going to be upset. Yes, does iHeart fit? Do I wish we can keep both of them? 100%, bro. But we got to keep one, and I still think if you keep one of them, we still have a juggernaut now when you bring Mikal Bridges over here with the squad.
I just know that this team is better right now on June 25th than we were to end the season. And I just know that going into the postseason or going into next season with Julius Randle coming back and with a lineup that has OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, this is a better team than last year. Like, Eddie, I'm not sure if you're just overreacting or you're doing this for clicks or whatever, but our team is way, but we're way better than what we're way better than when we're better. We're better right now. So if we traded 1 second, let me just.
Do you think this team could win a championship?
Let me finish my thought first, because we're not winning a championship with just DeMar DeRozan. That's not happening. We're not winning a championship with him.
Agreed.
Okay, so this is the thing. If we traded for DeMar DeRozan, one, he wants $30 million a season. That Bojan contract. But you have to trade Bojan and someone else. Who's the other person you're trading to make the money work?
Put a bunch of players together, and you could have had that done.
Who's the players? Eddie? Who has cap space? Not the Knicks.
Chicago has cap space,
bro. But if DeMar,
I understand we have to make it match. I get it.
So what are you saying then? Who's
we
the other?
We could have sent out a bunch of $2 million contracts to Chicago on top of the Bojan.
Who are those players that are? Who are those $2 million contract players you're talking about?
It's I got to look it up, but it's like Charlie Brown. It's going to be Sims. It's going to be Obi Toppin's brother and a couple other guys. Again,
do they have the roster space? That's what I'm saying. Do they have? Are you sure that they have the roster spaces open?
I'm almost fucking sure.
Can I do one thing that I think?
I think this is a good research,
but. I got a good refresh button for this. Ready? Look at this. How did this not bring you joy, Eddie? Just a little bit. A little bit.
Because we can't win a championship.
Look at the Villanova boys checking in with each other. They look kind of happy, Eddie.
Eddie, my second question is, after we get DeMar DeRozan and his $30 million after trading Bojan and those other second tier, whatever, how are we going to add anyone else? When we need to make them
buy a trade.
Who are we trading?
I don't know. We could have got a Marcus
Smart.
We could have went out and got DeAndre Hunter. We could have got Kuzma. We could have got all these other guys that are on the block.
Eddie, with who's
you have the Rosen and the Kuzma? That is championship.
Eddie, after you trade for DeMar's $30 million, you trade Bojan is your tradable chip. Who's the second contract you're trading that's going to make the money add up? Mitch makes $13-14 million. Kuzma, how much is he making?
20. It still matches.
20. It doesn't match.
A million times it matches.
Bro, 14 and 20. 20 million.
I did
14,
the trade, Hector. It works.
6 million in between.
You can put up and see. Tell me if it doesn't work. It works. I know because I do it.
I'm not sure if Phil and just left me with Eddie right now.
I love it, but good move, but doesn't put them over the top, in my opinion.
Mom and Dad. DeMar DeRozan doesn't either. DeMar DeRozan doesn't either.
Make another move after that.
By trading
no moves left.
Who? By trading who? Mitchell Robinson? Yes. Who's going to be our center then?
Pick so what counts.
Eddie,
that's what gets you starts.
Eddie, after we trade Mitchell Robinson, who's our starting center then?
That's a whole different story. Hopefully, Ihart.
No, it's not. How? When we're going to lose him?
We don't. It's not in stone that we're going to lose him.
Eddie, come on, bro. You gotta be more realistic than that. After we trade Bojan, because after you trade Bojan, that's how a big ticket trade when it comes to that's how big money chip that we're going to trade. And DeMar DeRozan wants $30 million. After we get that on our team, how the hell? Who are we trading? Mitchell Robinson. Who's going to be our center then?
Well, you know what they could have done? They could have signed Burks to a $30 million contract and sent him out this year at the deadline.
Who the fuck was Alex Burks?
On an expiring contract. That's what they could have done. That shout out to my man Chris Cap Guy. That's his take, by the way. So I'm not stealing it. That's from Chris Cap Guy, one of my guys in the spaces. One of my co-hosts.
Cheesy Soul Cakes puts up a great point. There was leaked, information that Brunson was considering sacrificing and signing his extension early, which will save us $100 million. You think that happens to get DeMar DeRozan or someone else? No. I think all of this makes sense the same way Josh Hart was willing to take that, cut early when he signed with us and the extension. That was because they knew Dante was coming. This is something that Jalen Brunson was doing to get Mikal Bridges over to the Knicks. Like, let's be completely real, completely honest. Ever since we saw the chemistry of them talking after games, the mouth coverings, him on the pod, everything like that. We knew that there was something going on there, that they were going to do whatever they had to do to get him. Jalen Brunson is sacrificing money on the table because he believes in the Villanova 4. He's leaving money on the table for the Knicks in order to do that. I don't think he does that if they say, oh, we're going after DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Kuzma. Like, I do not see Jalen Brunson saying, okay, I'll eat less.
It really makes no difference that he takes a discount anymore. We're already over the second apron.
Okay. I'm not paying the luxury tax. That's James Dolan.
At the end of the day, this makes us better. Like I said,
we're a better team now.
Find me a starting five that is good as that starting five. I'll wait.
Minnesota.
Really? The team that couldn't even make it to the finals? You think that their starting five is better than this starting five now? Nope, not happening. Not happening at all. Especially if Mitch
defensively, they're better.
especially if he plays the way, if Mitch plays the way he played against Embiid in the finals, I mean, in the playoffs, nope, not at all. Not happening.
But if we lose Isaiah Hartenstein, are we that good?
What did I just say?
We're relying on Mitch, Phil?
If Mitch plays like he did against Embiid, yes, I would bank on that. And if you have OG and Mikal, now you have two solid defenders in that starting lineup, not leaving sole responsibility of guarding the paint and the transition to Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson doesn't have to continuously jump out to the three-point line and then try to get back, because Mikal Bridges has that wingspan and that speed and the defensive capabilities. So starting five, tick for tack, I do not, and I know no one in this chat can show me where there is a starting five that is as good as our current starting five with Mikal Bridges in it at all.
Well,
not a single person.
DeMar DeRozan would have been a better starting five, apparently. He's 35. He's,
he's a better offensive player than Mikal Bridges. He's better.
He's a worse defender. He can't.
He's not a worse defender. According
what about the chemistry, though? What about the chemistry? It's going to have to be something that hopefully fits. As opposed to the Villanova boys, we've seen what that chemistry did as soon as Hart got there with Brunson. We saw instant chemistry, instant change. Dante came, we saw instant chemistry, instant change. Are we building upon what we've already built upon, or are we just trying to throw something else and hope that it sticks? This is a guaranteed 4 players that have won a college championship together, and a lot of times college doesn't transfer over, but we saw this past season, that it freaking transfers over when it comes to the Knicks. So we are building on something that's already a firm foundation. As opposed to DeMar, as solid and as amazing as he is, he's been one of my favorite players since he's been in the NBA. And I've told you a million times that I would trade for DeMar DeRozan. But this is a better trade based off of what actually works already with the guys and what we've seen already work. So in my opinion, as great as DeRozan is, this is a guaranteed bucket as opposed to a possible bucket.
Eddie,
I can't wrap my head around Knicks. I can't.
Eddie, DeMar.
And DeMar's not a 3-point shooter. DeMar's not a 3-point shooter.
I know he's not. I know
Mikal is. And all last season, you talked about how we needed an actual sharpshooter.
Relate to what DeRozan does. He absolutely doesn't. Does Mikal get the clutch points in at the end of the games? No,
he's not going to be that guy. Brunson is, but now it gives us opportunities.
Who's the number 2? OG's the number 2. He's not a number 2. He's not. Wait, I disagree. I don't think he is. He's a great fucking role player and fucking defender. He is not a number 2. That is, I stand down on that.
Okay, I just wanted to add something real quick. DeMar DeRozan's defensive stats from last year was 118.0. Mikal Bridges' defensive stats from last year was 117.9. So you're literally arguing over a point of a percentage point.
Oh, you're trying to say that DeMar DeRozan
for his career, DeMar DeRozan has been a worse defender than Mikal Bridges for his career.
He's been getting better and better over the last 3-4 years.
Yes, and
now going into the season, he's going to be 35 years old, and you want to bank on someone who's 35 years old to keep getting better and better when he turns to 35 or 36.
I think he's been fine.
That is unrealistic.
Okay.
Here's the one thing I will say. Here's the one thing I will say. Okay. LeBron has always been a better player than DeMar DeRozan, even though I like DeMar way more. Okay.
100%.
But we've seen what age does. Okay. Over time. You see what age does, even to the person that some might consider their GOAT. Okay. DeMar is on that trajectory. As good as he is on that trajectory of getting to the age where he's not going to continue to get better. Okay. Mikal has all the possibilities of continuing to still get better. And even if you don't think OG is a number 2, regardless of our thoughts on Julius Randle and, what our question marks still are the Julius Randle we saw after the OG trade. That is one of the best Julius Randles we've ever seen, and that is a number 2. If you can tell me another player that has 25 and 10 that's not considered a number 2 option on a team, I'll be shocked. Okay? So if that Julius Randle came back to play and now he doesn't have as much offensive responsibility and defensive responsibility because Mikal Bridges is there, that allows Julius Randle to focus on what Julius Randle does, which is bully ball and play well and play strong and drive to the hoop. He doesn't have to worry about the midi and the 3-point because now you got Jalen, Mikal, you got those options covered. You got OG in the corners. Now he's able to just dominate. He's never been able to simply focus on dominating in the paint. But when he does, he's unstoppable as a power forward. So now he gets the opportunity to focus on his greatest strong suit, which is bully ball and being in the paint. If he is that guy that he was in January before the shoulder injury, even close to that, then he is easily a number 2 option on any team, including ours. And so you get that version of him, Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Mitch or Ihart. That starting 5 is going to cause a ruckus next year in the NBA. It just is.
With Mikal Bridges not worrying about being a number 1 scorer, because Mikal Bridges is not a number 1 scorer, no matter how good he is in no one's world, he's a number 1 scorer or a number 1 option. So with him not having to worry about being a number 1 option, it allows him to be more efficient from the field. It allows him to play better offensively and defensively, not having to carry the burden of starting the offense and facilitating the offense like the Brooklyn Nets were trying to do last year with him. That's why his offensive numbers took a peak, went down rather than to years past and to the year before.
Yep. And you look at when he first was, starting to, get his footing and stuff like that at the Suns, he didn't have to wear that burden of being the number 1. You go over to a Nets team that just came out of shambles and you have all that pressure on you to fall into this like elite position that you were never there for. And you have him now saying, I want to be part of this Knicks organization. He's not coming to try and be that number 1 and number 2 and wrestle with the guys. How many times have we had to try to move that person from their number 2 to now you'll be a number 3, or you were the number 1, now we're going to make you a number 2. And it takes at least half a season for them to figure out how to play this new role. Julius Randle had to do it. RJ Barrett had to do it. Then when Jalen Brunson came, it happened again. Now you have a guy that can just come in and follow suit with what's already happening, as opposed to a lot of other players where you have to reconfigure everything and figure out how to make it work.
Do you guys think this team could win a championship next year? Yes,
oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
With an injured Knicks team, we were able to go as far as we went. Now you add Mikal Bridges. Now you add Julius Randle, a better team. How can we not go further than what we did?
And here's the thing, Eddie.
And you think DeMar DeRozan you think DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Kuzma, those are the guys that's going to get us over the hump?
I think if we had DeMar DeRozan, you have a true number 2 option, and that's to me is what we needed more than anything.
Who's your
A
second
guy that was
move?
taking
You
the
said
ball out of
DeRozan.
fucking Randall's hands down the stretch, because Randall is not a number 2. I don't give a fuck what he did in January.
Okay, well, that's the thing is I'm not living in last year.
Then you're ignoring.
I'm not living in the previous season. I'm living in the current of what I saw and what this current roster was. I'm not looking when I change things in my business.
Don't you think it was an overpay?
What
that trade for Mikal? It was a fucking huge overpay.
Any player that we were going to go after that would actually make a difference for us was going to be an overpay for the Knicks.
Bro,
we've said it a million times. How many times have we said, Carl Anthony Towns,
Spider Mitchell for this?
We're going to overpay. But Spider
No.
Mitchell doesn't fit the chemistry of that team the same way Mikal does. We've said it a million times. Like,
And they
it's just
wanted young players that were already established back, not just first round picks. We just had to give up first round picks and no young assets. We didn't trade anyone from our core. We traded Bogey.
And here's the thing. What did we say was one of our biggest downfalls last season in the bench unit was that McBride could play great defense and he could shoot, but he's not a facilitator.
Right now,
Dante can facilitate, because even when he was in that starting lineup, there's many times last season that Jalen Brunson gave that actual role to him to facilitate the offense, even while Jalen was out on the floor. So now you have Dante, who was great in our starting lineup, coming off the bench to be a sniper against worse defenders than he was going up against in starting lineups. And now he can facilitate, which allows McBride to not have to facilitate and to play off ball and do what he does best, which is catch and shoot three-pointers. That makes us instantaneously better off the bench as well. So for me, I don't care about bolstering up the starting lineup anymore. I think our starting lineup is perfect. And now I think what we need to do is get one more piece off the bench. Focus on the bench. Get something on the bench to go with Hart, with Josh Hart, with Dante, with McBride. You actually let Josh Hart play the small forward and not the backup power forward position. You get a backup power forward. This league is done. Like, this is the thing. We went as far as we did with a freaking crippled team. If our team was healthy, I think we would have gave the Celtics a run for their money. If our team was healthy this year. And now you're adding a Mikal Bridges to it as well. And you look at it, people go, yeah, but teams are going to get, yeah, what are they going to be able to do? Boston's already at that point financially, with Jaylen Brown having the max contract of anybody in the NBA. They can't add to their roster. They have to run it back as is. And if our team this year was as good as they were, and we would have been able to give them a run for their money, this new version of us, I think, can take the Celtics.
if I'm the Knicks right now, I am bolstering up that bench unit.
Yep.
With guys who are insurance policy to not only OG, but also to Randall.
Yeah,
they
I
have
agree.
to bring in an insurance policy, whether it's a Tobias Harris, whether it's a guy like DeAndre Hunter at Atlanta, or a Kuzma, somebody along those lines. They have to get in here and bolster that bench as an insurance policy, because now we are all in.
I agree.
Here's the thing. I don't think they'll have the money to sign to get Tobias Harris.
Depends on how much he wants.
Yeah.
He's not going to take a minimum or a vet max.
He was pretty fucking bad last year.
Yeah, but he's still under 30 years old. It'd be different if he was the same age as DeMar DeRozan.
He's got to be 30, 31 now.
Hold on.
Here's the thing, Eddie. I completely agree, and I'm looking at the power forward spot. Okay,
just turned 31.
As the backcourt. And the reason I'm looking at the power forward spot is because let's say anything was to happen to OG. Like I said, the best thing about Mikal Bridges is he can slide into that 3 position and Dante come back into the starting lineup. And we're good there. We're covered there. And we still have Josh Hart as his actual backup. So my thing is we need a backup power forward. We actually need a backup power forward. I think if we get a decent backup power forward, like it's going to be something that is going to be very hard for teams to compete against us. That's just what I think.
We have to get iHeart to resign, because if we get iHeart to resign, then you can move Mitch in a deal.
Yeah, and that's what I would do. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. What about a guy like freaking who was it? Dang it, just lost it.
What team?
You talking about the guy with the weird name?
Oh, Goga? Batadze?
No. What about
Shout out to the 741 people, 42 people that's in the building rocking with us right now. And yes, it is true. I can't stand Eddie Presti.
Oh, yeah. What about adding
He's
another
your
Villanova boy in Sadiq Bey?
Hard to get, though. Hard to get, cheap. Yep. I'd be willing to go after him, though. For sure. For sure, I'll be willing to go after
You get a
him.
Sadiq Bey, you know, you got that gritty Villanova,
Does he fit,
persona
though,
already.
Bill?
What?
Does he fit with Tibbs? That's the only thing I don't know about.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's not known for being Mr. Team and defense and all that shit. Again, you're gonna do this. You're gonna go down this road. You gotta get iHeart to fucking sign here. I don't know if you can throw him fucking $5 million in a suitcase under the low, but you got to do something, man. You got to keep him. Then you can move Mitch, sign a Goga or sign a Drummond, and then we have one more move off the bench, and then you just fucking go for it.
Yeah.
But who are we moving Mitch for?
Like I said, one of those guys who I mentioned, DeAndre Hunter, Kuzma, try to get a Tobias. Whatever we got to do.
Can someone look up what Tobias is looking for?
I mean, there's been a couple of
right
different things that he's been looking for. He's been connected to different teams, but man, I can't get over that 6-pick stuff. I can't. To me, it's insane. I mean, of all the moves that Leon could have made, 6 picks
But who?
for Mikal Bridges to me it's highway robbery.
But who are you? Who are you?
And I know where the picks are going to land. I get that. But when you have all your picks, you can always.
But you're acting like we still can't trade our picks on the day of the draft. We actually can. We can trade those picks on
what do we
draft
get
night.
for 24 and 25?
If we're trading, trades get done during the day of the draft for players. So if it's the off season, we can still trade whatever pick we have that during the draft of that year. You act like you can't trade these picks away.
Hector and Phil, you know what I'm doing on draft night tomorrow night? I'm trading 24 and 25. I'm going to ask OKC for future first round picks in the years that we lost our picks. So 25, 27, 29, 31.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, even if OKC puts protections on them, fuck it. Give me them. Or take the Clippers picks from them.
Or if you find a team that isn't looking to draft earlier and they're willing to trade their pick for 23 and 24, if we could get a Zach Edey, in the draft, that allows us to free up Mitch because he does what Mitch does, except he can shoot a lot better and drive to the basket a lot better than Mitch can.
Can he start?
Yeah, he can score. Edey can score.
Start.
Oh, can he start? No, but I don't think anyone in the draft will. But that would be getting money off of the off of that with Mitch to bolster our bench. Correct. And now we just have a rookie contract in Edey, and we get the same productivity, God willing, from him as a rookie. So that frees up money to focus on that power forward position that we're talking about. So, but yeah, I don't know. Like when I'm looking at like a lot of the power forwards that are available, I don't see much, man. I really don't. Like there's Kyle Anderson from Minnesota. But for me, I would probably rather someone that would be a little less money, like a Patrick Williams from Chicago. He plays hard. What?
I say he's solid.
Yeah, he's
what about
solid.
Vucevic?
Vucevic is a center.
Right. Mitch for Vuce. If we lose
I would do that, but I don't think Chicago will do it. I think they're moving everybody but Vuce, in my opinion, because he's a stretch big. He's a stretch big.
But how much is
stretch big? What about Taurean Prince?
It works.
I would do Taurean Prince as a backup 4. Like as a bench player, why not?
You're going to be over the second apron. You might as well bring back Precious.
Yeah,
might as well
or Precious.
Back.
Yeah,
bring back Kurtz too.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
And I'd rather Precious than all those guys. So
I just know this team is better right now than what we were at the end of the season. We're a better team right now.
Yeah,
we're closer to getting a championship than we were at the end of the season.
But we just made our last move, Hector, and that's to me what is the most devastating part.
I don't
But
think
that's
that's
the
the
way
last move. I don't think that's the last move because this front office was able to maneuver
But
pieces
last
and
move
trade.
with picks, Hector.
But you're acting like you just laid out a scenario on how this team could get future first round picks. If you think that Leon Rose, after compiling all these first round picks, he's not going to be able to get more first round picks over the next few years, you really think that? You think really Leon Rose he was able to get us to this point, and now all of a sudden he's just a fucking idiot?
And that's something to think about, Eddie, because we said even last season, OG would be great, but there's no way Toronto's going to deal with us while we're in a current lawsuit. What happened? We got him. Like, all of us were freaking floored. Like, we wanted him, didn't think it was a possibility to get him. Then what did we say? All towards the end and middle of the season. Man, if Mikal could come to this team, but Brooklyn would never deal to someone right across the bridge. Like, Brooklyn would never do that. They'll never deal with us.
They did it.
Doesn't matter. This is things that we thought our front office could not do. And they've done it. They've done it time and time again. And so for me, I'm going to go, okay, this isn't the era of the front office where I was livid and pissed all the time. They're actually making moves. So I'm going to have some faith that they can actually do something and make the moves that they need to make in order to continue. And yes, this may be our last big move with picks, but we don't need any big moves with picks. We have our guy in Jalen Brunson for way lower than he could have gone to other teams after this crazy season that he had. We're getting him at a deal. We got freaking Julius Randle, who gave us a deal to stay with us, wants to be here so bad, wants to be in New York, came to New York when no one else wanted to, which is something that we've always wanted, is someone that wanted to be in New York. We got freaking Mikal Bridges now, who's got that chemistry. We got OG, who is freaking exactly what we were complaining about when we had freaking RJ Barrett and Quick. Why do we have a whole bunch of small guys with no wingspan? How are we going to win
They
again?
max out OG, Phil?
I think they do whatever they have to do. Yeah, I do whatever they have to do. But now we have that problem fixed. Whether it's iHeart or Mitch, it's still a center that is going to be, useful for our team. And we got a sharpshooter who broke the freaking Knicks 3-point record, who is now going to be our sixth man, and one of the best bench glue guys in the league in Josh Hart, who is also rebound leader for guys in his size.
Under 6'4".
We have a lot going for us, more than ever. I don't know the last time we had a Knicks a team like this that I was like, holy crap, we have a squad, not just a guy, not just some guys, but we have a squad. Like I said before, I don't see a top 5 starting lineup as good as this new lineup that we have. And if we add one more piece to this bench, I already think our bench is better than anyone else's when you get Dante back in there. Dante, McBride, Hart, I don't see other benches being that good. So now you add one more piece to our bench, and from 1 to 10, we have a roster that is better than any 1 through 10 out there.
I would go out and see.
I just want to
we
say,
can...
right? I just want to say real quick, Eddie. Hypothetically, knock on wood, throw salt over my shoulder. If this experiment doesn't work out, right, and in 2 years, our front office they have to hit the reset button. You're telling me we can't get 6 first-round picks if we decide to trade Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby?
Depends. It won't be ours. It won't be our picks.
But we could get first-round picks if we decide to hit the reset button and trade OG and trade Mikal and trade Dante and trade Josh Hart. You're going to tell me you can't get 6 first-round picks? But I'm saying But that's what I'm saying. We're going all in because that's what the team is seeing right now. They want to go all in. They think that this move is going to get us over the hump. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if the experiment doesn't work in 2 or 3 years, we could hit the reset button and we could trade the 4 players that I just mentioned, and that right there would get us back way more than 6 first-round picks.
Being over the second apron is tricky though, Hector, because you can't aggregate players in trades. So you can't put two players for one.
I know
Get
that.
what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
So if you could trade Mikal, you have to trade somebody back for making less.
No, that's why you trade Dante and then you trade Josh Hart first, because you get rid of that money. Then you're out of that apron that you're talking about, and then we could trade Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to look at it.
And this is all a hypothetical if the process and if this experiment doesn't work out. We got somebody backstage. My fault, Jonathan. Before it was saying that you was connecting. Let's bring up Jonathan real quick just to get his take. I'm not sure where Celso went. He just left us. Pissy.
Celso said he was tired.
Oh, Celso's tired. Okay, so I'm bringing up Jonathan right now to give us his take. Jonathan, my guy, how you feeling?
I'm doing well. I'm tired. My hair is a mess. What else is new?
Yeah, what else is new?
Yeah. Well, I actually like this trade. It's very. I did like I do like the idea of keeping OG, but with this trade, I don't see them keeping OG. They're not going to spend all that money, and OG is is an injury-prone player. I think that's also one reason. What, you don't agree?
No, he is. He definitely misses 25 to 30 games a year. 100%.
Yeah. So yeah, if OG wasn't such an injury-prone player, I think they would have signed him already. They made this trade so they don't have to bring back OG. Look, I understand that we gave up a lot to get OG, but he's just too much of an injury-prone player. You don't want him sitting on the injured list for half the season and can't play in the playoffs when you need him. If we had OG last year in the playoffs, we may have gone to the finals.
Yeah, that's why you bring him back and you hope that he's healthy.
Yeah,
Well,
Jonathan.
He's gonna want what, $35-40 million a year,
and he's gonna get it no matter where he goes. He's gonna get it.
He's gonna get it.
Yeah.
But
So why would we, who already gave up 2 young guards, 2 young guards, one of them who was our number 3 pick, why would we want to let that walk? Yes, there is the potential of him still being injured, but here's a reality check. Every single all-star, like superstar, two-way kind of player, even not two-way kind of players who like have been in conversations of people wanting to trade for, unfortunately, 95% of them have an injury history. It is what it is. Whether it's Durant, whether it's Anthony Davis, whether it's any of the Karl Anthony Towns, any of those guys have injury histories. So yes, you go all in for the guy that you bought into, and you hope for the best. You hope that the changes in the roster that you've made allow him to not have to play as diehard for, switching on and off, because you have another solid defender, another long wing defender, wingspan defender, and you hope that it pays off. But of course, the wing shares alone, like what we were able to do with OG on our team, makes him worth buying back into.
Yeah, well,
the Knicks have no choice but to bring back OG. They have no choice.
No,
even if
they're going to bring back OG, they have to realize he's going to play maybe 50 to 60 games, and maybe that's the idea of getting Bridges, to reduce the strain on OG. Maybe that's the idea. I don't know the thinking. You have a thought, Hector?
No, I just I just think people are just making too much of the OG Anunoby stuff. There's a lot of players that are injury prone in the league. When you look at OG Anunoby, that was a freak injury that happened to him in the postseason. He was running back and forth up and down the court. It was literally 6 to 8 different transitions going back and forth, and he pulled a hamstring. Like he didn't rupture his rotator cuff. He's not out here getting an ACL surgery. These are low maintenance injuries that are forcing him to miss games out of the season. It may have to be just the training staff just have to go with a different routine. Again, I think OG Anunoby, he adds a different defensive metrics to this team that we haven't seen in a long time, and he was our best defender, and our defense looked way better when he was on the court. When Jalen Brunson, when OG Anunoby, and when Julius Randle was on the court at the same time, we had the best plus minus in the entire league, the best offensively and defensively. That's not just by accident.
I also think what the Knicks will do tomorrow in the draft will tell you if they resign or not. It will. I don't know who's going to be their first pick in the draft, but I think that's going to be a big tell whether OG is back or not.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think you have to wait long. Like Leon Rose showed, he made the move that they wanted to make, the priority move before the draft. And I think I could be wrong, but I think we'll see something before our 23 or 24 pick tomorrow. I think we'll see something else happen.
You think there will be another trade before the 24th pick?
Yes.
Yes.
I think we're going to trade these picks out to get future firsts. That's what I think.
I think we're going to either trade them for future firsts or to bolster our bench. So
we've done it in the past. We traded for future. We traded our current draft pick for future first round picks before with Leon Rose.
Here's the other question for all of you: is if they trade both their picks for future picks, is what they have currently on the team right now good enough to win a championship?
I don't believe so.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Tell me what starting five will be better. That's what I want to know.
Apparently, Chicago
will be better.
Apparently, Chicago with DeMar DeRozan. Yeah, apparently.
I think. Well, listen, man.
Whatever team DeMar DeRozan.
You guys can sleep on Boston all you want, but Boston's starting five is better. It's better.
Yeah, but you know who Boston doesn't have? They don't have DeMar DeRozan, so we don't got to worry about
Boston has been a good team.
They might get him.
7 years.
Yeah. Oh, for $30 million. They're gonna make $30 million magically appear so they can trade for DeMar DeRozan.
They got KP for nothing.
Yeah.
You really think that their starting five is better than our starting five?
Yes, they just won a championship. Absolutely, they're the champions.
Well, yeah, they won a championship.
Championship is going to be better than your team.
Again,
I'm talking about our current our roster as of today.
I'm not sold on the Randall shit. So to me, that was the biggest mistake they made.
Well, Randall also has to stay healthy throughout the year. He cannot get hurt. The Knicks cannot have.
That was the first time he's gotten hurt like that and missed that many games since his rookie year when he broke his leg or fractured his leg.
Can't believe they gave up fucking 6 picks. That it's just mind-boggling.
Well,
they gave up
4 unprotected to the Milwaukee pick. Yes, 4. So 5.
Yeah, 5 and a second round pick and a pick swap. Right. So.
One thing you will see next year, the Knicks will be all in to win a championship. They haven't won since '73, so you cannot blame them. They have not won in my lifetime, and I remember seeing the '90s Bulls when I really hated them beating the Knicks every single year.
I just want to point something out. I'm not sure if I know Eddie doesn't listen to hip hop or anything like that, but Phil, I know that you was paying attention to the Kendrick Lamar concert that he had on Amazon over the past couple of days. Amazing concert. Who was on stage with Russell Westbrook? I wasn't talking to you, Eddie. I was talking to Phil. Yeah. You see, you just ruined it.
Yeah, you said I didn't know, but I didn't know.
No, okay. Well, but guess what? DeMar DeRozan is going to the Clippers. He's not coming on the East Coast. He's going back home to LA. So that pipe dream is sailing. He's going back home to the West Coast. He's going to the Clippers.
Maybe I need some
I just don't
AA.
like that they gave up their
I'll
whole
put
future.
double A on this stream here.
But
All right, I'm gonna.
Yeah, we about to get ready
I'm
to
gonna-
wrap up.
Yeah,
Alright.
I'm going to interrupt Mom and Dad fighting real quick and give a shout out to our guy, Jerry Ferrara, with the tweet of the night. And he said, "Can you imagine the boos that Bridges is going to hear when he goes back to Barclays?" Oh, wait, that's right. LOL. He's not going to hear any boos because that's our second arena. It's a beautiful
Big
thing.
facts.
But yes,
I just want to
I
say,
believe we're all in. I believe we're
Yeah.
all in. And for me, honestly, I'm good with that. Because
I wouldn't
this
be
is the
surprised if
first
the-
time.
hold on, Jonathan.
This is
let
the
Phil go.
first time. This is the first time in 30 years of fandom that I believe that the team is actually worth going all in for. I have not seen a roster or a season previous that made me go, yes, this is worth going all in for. And to finally say that I do believe that this team is worth going all in for, put all the chips on the table, that's exciting for me. And I'm looking forward to see what happens before our pick tomorrow. And I'm already satisfied with the offseason. I know there's going to be, speculations, but I believe, Eddie, after you see how this roster goes after the first 15 to 20 games of next season, I think you're going to sing a different tune. I really think you're going to see what it looks like and you'll be pleased with it. Just like a lot of people weren't pleased with the OG at first and then started praising the trade. A lot of people weren't happy with the Josh Hart trade, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, 80 mil, he's definitely worth 80 mil, from people that didn't think he was worth 60 mil the season before. So I believe that the proof is going to be in the pudding. I think that we're going to see it, and it's going to be a beautiful sight to watch. And that's my closing statements. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be, the trade that we all hoped and wished for.
Jonathan, my guy, I'm gonna let you down just because we're about to wrap things up and close it up. Appreciate you like always for tuning in. What happened, Jonathan?
Yeah, I'm probably getting bed too.
All good.
It's
All good,
getting
Jonathan.
late. I'm twisting my words.
All good. You good, Jonathan?
You're good, man. So before we end, I hit up my guy Brill and I was like, yo, Brill, you got to hop on. And he was like, I can't, man. I've been in spaces, was watching Star Wars. I got to go to bed. And then all of a sudden, like the boogeyman, Brill showed up. So we got to let Brill close us out with his thoughts on the trade.
Yo, we did that fucking shit, bro. We did the impossible. Eddie, I don't know what you was drawing up. I know you ain't see this shit coming. I know you did.
Actually, I did.
Hey,
Look at my pinned tweet from fucking January 24th.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great day for all Knicks fans, regardless of what trade machine you was on, especially if you got the right one. So shout out Eddie if he did that. You feel me? Hey, bro, I ain't gonna say too much. You know what I'm saying? But, dog, I was just saying on the space. Like, we had 90 minutes of Josh Hart in the fucking playoffs in 2 games. Now he might be cracking. He'll be lucky if he crack 18, maybe. You know what I'm saying? You got OG out here with fucking Mikal, and they about to be hitting the switches. They about to be hitting the help defense and the one-on-one, bro. I don't give a fuck. And everybody that's panicking, the last thing I'm going to say, because I already know y'all covered everything already. You feel me? Shout out to the Morning Brew crew. Shout out everybody else that pulled up. Y'all know what it is. I already know y'all was talking that shit. But, like, bro, for the people that's worried about this or that, we are still better than we were last year already. Just get OG to finish the paperwork, and it's a done fucking deal. I don't care. If we keep one of Mitch or I, cool. And y'all trying to be Debbie Downers about the possibilities of, well, what if this, what if that? We don't know shit. If this, how many times does Leon Rose have to remind y'all that you don't know shit?
Thank you.
And when things don't go away that we may like, guess what? He gonna give you something you love all of a sudden. It's all good. Stay calm.
Yo, bro.
Enjoy the moment. We win the fucking chip. Y'all know what it is.
Bro, I wish you was on the show at the beginning, honestly, because this is the type of energy that I wanted. Eddie, I love you, bro, but bro had the positive energy. I get it. You're upset about the first round picks, but bro just said it. When you look at it, our front office, take a second. Just think about it over the past 5 seasons, over the past 4 years with Leon Rose. The Jalen Brunson signing is going to go down as the best signing in our franchise history. That's one. The OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges trades, those are going to go down as 2 of the best trades we've made in the past 30 seasons. The other trade that we made that's been impactful as these 2 guys trading for was Carmelo Anthony. And we just got Carmelo Anthony. We got 2 players, 2 young guys that are key pieces that if you have to, bro, I was saying this earlier, hypothetically, knock on wood, if the shit don't work out, if this experiment doesn't work out and we have to hit the reset button in 2 or 3 years, we could trade Mikal, we could trade OG, Dante, and Josh Hart, and we could get way more than 6 picks back in return if we have to hit the reset button. And that's all a hypothetical, and that's only if the experiment doesn't work out. So regardless, we're still playing with house money.
Yep. We have elite assets on elite contracts, bro. Everybody got value. And you know what's crazy? We even got Deuce McBride, which is also one of the best fucking contracts in the NBA. And guess what? Deuce McBride's contract is so good that you could put out a player with like a big name and a shitty contract and then just throw in Deuce with it. And all of a sudden, it's a great fucking move. You can't lose. Yep. We're chilling. We're fucking chilling.
And that's the thing.
I just want to say real quick, Earl de Pearl Monroe, that was a trade. That wasn't a free agent signing. That's why I said Jalen Brunson is going to go down as the best free agent signing. And with the trade, I'm not saying that OG and Mikal is better than Earl de Pearl Monroe. No, I'm saying in the past 30 years, this trade has been the best trade that this organization has done over the past 25 years.
Yep. So, Brill, thank you. Thank you for not going to sleep. I needed that.
All love, man.
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's this TikTok of this guy, and he was at a costume party, and half of him was Hulk Hogan, and the other half was Macho Man Randy Savage. So he would turn and do the battle between the 2 of them, but he was the same guy. But he was so lit, and I felt like that take was that. It had the Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Hulk Hogan energy all bottled up in one body, and I thank you for that, because that's exactly how I feel. And the fact that we can say this front office pulled off what they pulled off, and it was the players themselves that liked it so much that they were willing to take less. Jalen Brunson, less money. Josh Hart, less money. Like Randall, less money. All these guys have taken cuts to be in New York. The organization that was a laughingstock for the majority of my life, where people were saying it's not the Mecca anymore. No one wants to be there. Kevin Durant saying no one wants to come be the savior of New York, this, that, and whatever. Now you have guys that wanted that challenge, and they fight for each other, and they fight for our city, and they fight for our organization. I'm ecstatic for next season already. Even if we don't do anything else, I'm ecstatic. But the great thing is I don't think that Leon is done. And for that, I want to kiss his bald forehead and rub it like Buddha. So shout out to Leon Rose. We appreciate you. We're looking forward to seeing what's going on. I'm going to go to bed because it's almost midnight and I got work in the morning. So I appreciate you all. Eddie, I love you. I'm not trying to attack you. I love your brain. I think
it's all good. It's all good, Phil.
Go ahead, Eddie. Go ahead, Eddie. Let the people know how you feel.
Tom Thibodeau not playing those picks, man.
I don't it's never about the playing of the picks. I don't give a fuck about kids. I hate kids. Trade. It's about the currency in the NBA and the currency in the NBA's draft picks. And now we don't have any left to trade except for the Detroit and Washington one.
I think that's a great way to end it. We all know that Eddie Presti is upset. We all know that Eddie Presti hates kids. He doesn't like goldfishes. If you had a dog, he'll probably poison it if you're out on vacation. Never leave you. You don't like dogs like that. But shout out to everybody who was in the building. Shout out to my guy Brew, my brother Phil, my brother Eddie, and my brother Celso as well. It's getting late. We appreciate you guys for tuning in to this random pop-up, but maybe we'll have some more over the next couple of weeks just to have this conversation. And until next time,
enjoy draft night, everybody.
Let's go. Doses.